We got a new accessory to look at.
A new accessory?
By request of the big man.
It's been a while since we, the dabs. What happened to dabbing? What happened?
This guy used to dab.
This guy, yeah, Nick.
All the time.
That's right. Let's get for old time's sake. Old time's sake. Nick. What do you want to talk about first, Jason Song?
Bennett's been cutting stuff on the CNC. We got to make some design decisions.
Okay.
We got a fast turnaround. So, these are our hobby shelf silicone inserts.
Boom, 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 boom.
These are really food safe?
Yeah, dishwasher safe, food safe, freezer safe, microwave safe, oven safe.
That's really nice. Oven
Yeah.
safe?
Up to 300 and something.
Wow.
Food grade silicone.
That's nice.
Anyways, yes, so MGD 2.0, we came out with the hobby shelf.
Also Hobby Vault.
Hobby Vault.
Also.
Yes. So the whole thing with the hobby shelf and the hobby vault is we made these silicone inserts that have all sorts of different cutouts and options for like holding stuff. For different hobbies, for chips and dip, that's the best one right there. The hobby shelf holds 2 half trays, or 4 quarter trays, or 1 half tray, 2 quarter trays, whatever you want. Basically mix and match. Dougie's input was that a little bit smaller of a form factor might be nice, because you go into, at your game group, because he's a nerd.
I play board games once a week, and we have a poker chip holder. It's an accessory. It was sort of a larger accessory. It was sort of in between the hobby shelf and a component organizer. Right? It was like that's the Goldilocks middle. This insert, which held poker chips, I peeled it out, and it's just like open. It's like just a nice well.
Yeah.
For gaming, it's the most popular. We like them better than the component organizers. It's a nice size.
Yeah.
And people even will take it and flip it at the game table and click it in again for like a little writing surface.
Yeah.
It's just like a mini hobby shelf.
Yep.
So I challenged Jason, who then challenged Bennett, to basically bring what we would call now the poker chip holder, to bring it into the system.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's almost this size. We have this whole cool set of inserts. Let's just make an accessory that Doug liked that fits these.
Right. Oh my god!
It's a big boy. It is the same length as a large cup holder. It holds a half tray.
Oh my
It also
God.
holds 2 quarter trays, which is really cool. You can like mix and match a bunch of stuff. I think we're gonna put cork or something in here, or leather. So we can go over why
It's big.
It's so big.
It's
So big.
right now this is flush. So when this comes in, see how that's flush? Try to get a shot. Like that is flush.
Yeah.
You could have it so it's lipped. I actually thought you would do a lip. See how that's like put the lip over the edge?
Yeah, well, so these have little reinforced tops. So you're saying the wood will hit right at that edge. Would look nice. If we did that, we could have it a regular accessory thickness.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So these are 3/4 of an inch. That's probably a little less than 5/8. So the reason why I did this, and I wish we had an MGT here, is let's get this.
All right, let's go to an MGT. Let's go to an MGT.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry.
Magic.
I dream of Genie. They fit in the hobby vault. There's a hobby vault.
Yep.
See? I'm gonna open it. Boom. There we go. They're inside.
Wow.
This hobby insert system, I think it's actually really nice.
Why wouldn't we just make a half-size hobby shelf?
Oh, that's kind of what I think Bennett basically did.
But it's
Well,
chunky.
it's chunk A, I think we can thin it up. B, this one right here, this is much easier to make than a hobby shelf. This is one piece of wood,
And you just wrap it.
one CNC program, there's no glue ups. The hobby shelf, I think there's a glue up that's involved on that,
2
right?
moldered pieces that are glued together. Yeah, a lot more work to make.
Plus the end caps.
Yep.
But it
Yeah.
looks nicer.
It does. It does look nicer. We can make this. We can make this look nice.
This is the first one. We never do just one.
Yeah.
Things get better.
It's true.
We can go into why it's so chunky. So let's take
Yeah,
that
go
off.
ahead.
Yeah. We'll take this off.
What the?
Oh,
This is what they use for photo stuff. They're like, oh, bounce light.
it works.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it lighten me up?
Oh, yeah.
So the reason why I made it so thick, because the other thing Doug had talked about was we like the well.
I see where you're going here.
It will click in something like that,
Oh, you crazy son of a bitch.
so that you can use it as like an extra mini player desk.
But the thing is, it will. So it will do that on the inside, I bet.
You'll have that gap.
That's fine. Mind the gap. At Miyakaza, we like it's fine. Like this is.
That would fly.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Like that is why it is so thick, to bring it up to the surface of the
Got it.
armrest, so you can use it as kind of like armrest extension. But it does make it thick and chunky and ugly.
I'll tell you what they'll want from a production standpoint is they'll want it.
As thin as possible.
They're going to want it as thin as possible to avoid a face glue.
Glue-up.
Face glue-ups are the worst glue-ups.
It's probably an edge glue and a face glue.
Oh, I don't want that.
Edge glue is when you take
Yeah.
two boards
Yep.
and you go like that,
Yep.
so you can make them wider.
Yep.
And then a face glue, you take two boards and glue it like that to make them thicker.
Right.
This one, you're gonna have to edge glue to make a board wide enough, and then you make two of those, and then you face glue those two together. It's a lot of work.
Does anybody have a pencil? You'll end up with a seam. Right, so that's one piece of wood. That's another piece of wood. Face glue, you end up with a seam here. Whoa. If it's wide and thick, now it's yeah. You got
This is, I believe, the mug
right.
holders
Yeah.
have this. If we thin it down, you have to imagine you're gonna have this size writing surface anyways on the other side.
Yeah.
So like, if it's up at the height of the armrest, you can use like a full-size notebook or something like that. You can't really do that if it's lowered. So it's just what is our goal for it.
So let's say this is, not flush. It's still a hell of a lot more space than this armrest.
Sure.
Right, like currently I've got an armrest
Yep.
or I've got felt.
Yep.
Which is bad to write on.
Yep.
That's nice, and then if you want to invest, you can go up to a player desk.
Yep. Yeah, so we do have the accessory that's like,
Ooh, that leather.
Whoa,
What's going on with
what
that
is
leather?
Damage.
Did that get rained on?
looks awful.
Don't do that, that's ebony.
Yep. So this is the player desk,
Oh,
which is
hey, our-
specifically made for what we're talking about. Is like a nice surface area that holds full
Right.
sheets of paper. You can write on it, pencils, place for dice, all that stuff.
Yeah, but these fuckers are, I think they start at like 150 or something. I forget. This is where it gets controversial.
The nerdy. What do we do with the wood at the bottom of this mortise?
This area right here. What's the problem? If you're a woodworker and you need to just start talking, Bennett.
I don't want to fucking stand that. Fuck that. That's so dumb.
Why?
Especially if it's getting hit.
Yeah, why is it so-
One, why? Because I have to get in here and sand this somehow with a machine. I'm not going to sand all of it. Or I'm going to damage it.
You're gonna like chew up the walls.
Or I'm going to chew up the
of
I'm
that.
going to chew up the walls, or I'm going to fuck my hand up, or the accessory is going to get more damage rather than sanded. Sanding this is a fucking nightmare. So you can see all
You can
these
see the ridges, yeah.
See all the machine lines? Can you see all those ridges?
Yep.
Yep. That's
You have to sand those out.
that's not quality craftsmanship.
Yeah,
And
so-
we are quality craftsmen allegedly. So
We have two techniques we use for this. Allegedly. We have two techniques because we have lots of accessories that have this problem. The first one is these rounded dishes. So you put that on, we have special sanders that you can like ease those corners after sanding the bottom because it does get chewed up a little bit. But we can't do that because we can't have this big radius because this wants to sit in nicely.
Right.
We also have this guy, which this leather, it's actually like grooved under the wood here and the leather tucks under. So we don't have to worry about like spray contact adhesive and sticking it down. It kind of just like slips in the mortise and the weight of the leather holds it, which is very nice. We could do the rabbited tuck under, or we could do third option,
Okay, go for it.
which is cork that is stuck down on top of it, which is what we did for the mug holder already.
which all of our tiles.
So my concern is if you are not tucking and you're going for a butt seam or an inset application, right?
You got to nail both pieces.
Everything
really well.
Everything needs to be absolutely accurate. This is a wide piece of wood. So this wood through the seasons is doing this. If the expansion and contraction of what you're installing
Yeah.
doesn't match, the wood will shrink and it will bubble the surface.
Or buckle it and
Right,
yeah.
it'll buckle, it'll pop up. Or in the summer when it gets really big, you're gonna notice a little gappy. That's why when you look at like rooms, for instance,
That's what that molding does.
that's what molding does.
It's covering up a seam that's
It's covering up a seam and they can't get that seam dead nuts. The problem is when we start getting into these surfaces, that increases the price.
Sure.
We either do oiled leather or like, and that's it, or we doing the felts.
Yep.
Everyone gets pissed off every time we touch this.
Well, with this accessory specifically, I feel like that's an argument looking to be had. Because
Yeah.
if your intention for this accessory is to make it for these, you put the most affordable, low-end material that we already currently use, and you do that, and you go, done. It's not customizable. This is the accessory because it's meant for all of this stuff. If you want to turn around and use it for something else, you have imagination, have at it. But it's like, at some point, you can't make everybody happy.
We sure do try that.
We do, and I applaud us for that. But sometimes it's like it costs us more work than it needed to be in the end.
I think our design goal right now is try to make it out of our standard 4/4 with an inset surface. And these can be a sort of
raised slightly.
I actually think them being slightly raised is actually
I think
a good
that's,
thing.
That's good input. Cool. All right, we'll make a couple more.
So we have a hobby shelf, we have a hobby vault. What is this named? I was thinking hobby holder. You were going hobby solo.
Hobby solo.
Anything, Bennett? Matt?
chunker solo.
The chonker in chief over here.
Hobby chonk.
Hobby chunk.
That would actually be a useful comment we could receive for once on our YouTube channel. If we could actually get a usable name.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the word hobby in it.
It has to.
Because...
That's the hobby insert system.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. All right. Great.
Sweet.
Nice job, Bennett.
Love it.
There it is. Thing, and you pay it. Oh.
Hello?
Hey! Hey! Hey!